Imagine this for a second. The average high school student spends around 15 hours every single week doing homework. 15 hours. That's like working a whole part-time job, except instead of making money, we lose time, sleep, and honestly, part of our sanity. After spending 7 hours at school, we go home and do even more school. Every student sitting here knows that feeling of opening your backpack after a long day and seeing a stack of assignments waiting for you. It feels draining before we even start. And that dread has become such a normal part of being a student that we don't even question it anymore. I've personally felt the effects of homework on my mental health, my free time, and even my relationships. And after researching this topic in depth, I learned that what we're experiencing isn't just normal teenage stress. It's a widespread issue affecting students from early elementary school all the way up to college. Today, I want to show why getting rid of homework, or at least drastically reducing it, could genuinely improve our lives. There are 3 major reasons homework should be banned or minimized. It harms mental health, it doesn't actually encourage real learning, and it takes away valuable family time and personal time. Let's start with the big one, mental health. We all joke about being tired or stressed, but the reality is that homework plays a major role in that. When students are already juggling sports, jobs, clubs, and responsibilities at home, homework becomes a thing that pushes us over the edge. A study in BMC psychiatry found that the more homework teens had, the worse their sleep became, and that lack of sleep led to increased depression symptoms and stress. That means homework isn't just annoying, it's literally affecting our mental and emotional health. The National Society of High School Scholars also reports that when students are overwhelmed with assignments, it becomes harder for them to maintain friendships or spend time with family because they're constantly trying to catch up. Homework is supposed to help us learn, but how are we supposed to learn when we're exhausted, anxious, and barely keeping up? Not to mention, sleep is one of the biggest factors in academic success. So the more homework we have, the less sleep we get, and the worse we do in school. It's a cycle that doesn't make sense. And honestly, think about how many times you've had to choose between finishing homework and taking care of your mental health. That's not a choice students should have to make. Less homework or no homework at all would give students healthier minds, better rest, and more control over their lives. The second reason to eliminate homework is that it doesn't teach us the kind of skills we actually need in the real world. Schools like Acton Academy have already adopted a no homework approach because they believe real learning happens when students explore concepts on their own, take initiative, and solve problems in meaningful ways. And guess what? Their students are still succeeding, maybe even more than traditional schools. For many of us, homework becomes a routine of memorizing information for a test and forgetting it immediately after. It's not deep learning, it's survival mode. We complete the assignment to get the grade, not because we're growing or understanding something new. Research even shows that traditional homework often fails to build long-term knowledge or skills. It's not preparing us for college, adulthood, or real-life situations where we need creativity, independence, or problem-solving skills. Imagine what students could learn if we weren't stuck doing worksheets for hours. We could explore hobbies, volunteer, learn how to manage money, cook, fix things, or even just read about topics we choose. All of these things build real, useful skills, things that homework rarely teaches. When we reduce homework, we make space for students to become curious, independent thinkers instead of just assignment machines. The third reason homeworks need to go is simple: time. Between school, activities, and everything else teenagers deal with, we barely have time to breathe, let alone spend quality time with our families. And that time is important. Studies show that teenagers who regularly interact with their family at the dinner table during activities or even just hanging out tend to be happier, healthier, and more confident. But homework often takes that time away. Students end up isolated in their rooms trying to finish assignments instead of being present with their families or connecting with friends. Research shows that the more time students spend on homework, the less time they spend in face-to-face interactions with loved ones. And those interactions matter, not just for mental health, but for building social skills, relationships, and memories we'll never get back. If homework were reduced or eliminated, students would finally have time to relax, build relationships, participate in activities, and just enjoy being teenagers. We deserve to have time for the things that make life meaningful, not just the things that fill up a great book. So today, we looked at 3 powerful reasons why homework should be banned or at least seriously limited. It damages students' mental health, it doesn't build real, long-lasting learning, and it steals family and personal time that students desperately need. It's time to rethink what success looks like. Being exhausted shouldn't be the expectation. Losing sleep shouldn't be normal, and students shouldn't have to sacrifice their well-being in order to get their work done. When we give students their time back, we're giving them more than just free hours. We're giving them the chance to live happier, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. Thank you.